Hi everyone, today I'm going to be making a birthday card. I'm going to use this really cute set from My Favorite Things, and this is the set called Cat-itude. I love all the different sized cats that come with this set because you can really personalize it to color them in like the cats that the people own that you're making the card for. I'm going to use these two little cats here today, and I really like them because they have different shapes, and this one is a little smaller, so it's going to work perfectly for the two cats that she has. She has a cat named Maddie who's a little bit bigger, and then this little teeny cat Sophie. I could have used this really small one here, but I feel like that's a bit out of proportion with the size of the two cats. They are similar enough. I also really like this boxy cat up here, and I just think it gives a great variety for making cards. And then the second set I'm using is this adorable one from Avery Elle. I absolutely love this set. This is the Woodland Wonders, and I'm going to be using this one just for the banner. I'm going to use the banner here in the corner, and then I will be using the banner die because I want to stamp out the sentiment here from this set right in the banner, and you see it there, it's Happy Purr-thday. And I thought that would fit perfectly inside this little banner. I'm starting off with this really pretty, it's actually a tealy blue color, and I got that from this big pack that I keep pulling out in my videos. It has a ton of colors, and it was a great buy. It's nice to have some pre-folded card, and I'm going to be using a lot of things to cover up the front, but you will see that really pretty blue in the back. So the first thing I'm going to do is use my large stitched rectangle stackables from Wanfon, and I'm going to use the largest rectangle here to cut out a sheet of paper to fill in the front of the card. It's the perfect size for an A2 card. So the one that I'm going to use is actually this pretty background that looks like wallpaper, so hopefully you can see the texture in this. But basically all of these papers are already embossed for you. Got these beautiful patterns and they look like wallpaper, and I am going to make the scene look like it's kind of in their house with the cat sitting on a little rug. So I've picked out the off-white paper. Let's see if I can find it in here. There we go. And hopefully you can get an idea of that texture on there. It's hard to see because it's off-white, but I'm going to go ahead and cut out a piece of that. And that paper, I bought it from Michael's. It's called the Embossed Neutrals, and they're 12 by 12 sheets. And I'm going to go ahead and run this piece through my Cuttlebug. So there we have that front panel cut out, and I think you can see the dimension a bit better now. And I love the stitched border around the edge. I'm going to go ahead and put that on the front of the card with some glue tape. So there's the front panel done, which looks like the wallpaper, and now I'm going to move on to the bottom part of the card, which I'm going to make look like a rug. So for that, I'm using two different things. I've got my newer Simon Says Stamp dies that I picked up. These are these stitched squares, and I got these when they were having a sale. Always check for coupon codes for Simon Says Stamp because they have them a lot. And I'm still waiting for some storage little bags to come in, so right now they're just in a Ziploc bag. But I'm using this smaller one. Now it's not the smallest in the set, it's the second smallest one. And I'm going to use this to create a pattern of squares along the bottom of the card with two different scraps of paper that I have. I'm going to use the blue and the purple gingham, which is from this Doodlebug paper pack. This is the 6x6 one that I got, which is the Craft and Color Craft. And I love these papers. I actually used the other side for a couple projects, and now I'm going to use the gingham. So I'm going to go ahead and cut out a bunch of these with the squares so I can do that pattern on the bottom. So I went ahead and cut out 6 squares for each color, and I have some of them lined up here, and you can see there's a little space on either side. I just have to cut these last 2 in half to make that pattern on the front. So now that I have them all laid out, I'm going to go ahead in with my glue tape and just attach everything down right to the front of the card. So to make sure it all stays lined up as I'm going, I'm just starting with pieces on the bottom, lining that up, putting that one down before I move on to the top piece, and then I'm just doing that all the way along. And there it is all laid out. I think it looks really cute. I love the gingham background. So now I'm going to move on to some stamping. So I've just taken out the Avery L stamp and die that I'm going to be using, and I've also grabbed my mini Misty. So I'm going to set everything up in here because I want to make sure that I position the greeting from the Cat-itude set right inside of the banner, so it's going to line everything up for me. So first I've just laid the banner down. I'm going to go ahead and close the mini Misty, and it will pick up that stamp. Now the other nice thing about using this is that this stamp set's actually brand new, so I could also get a little bit of patchiness when I stamp it, so I can double stamp it if I need to. So just using my Memento Tuxedo Black ink, I'm going to go ahead and ink up the stamp, and then I'm going to go ahead and stamp it. And it actually stamped perfectly the first time, so we have a nice crisp image. I'm just going to go ahead and spritz my Lawn Fawn chamois so I can get one of the areas wet so I can clean off that stamp. Then from the Cat-itude set, I just took the Happy Purr-thday. So it's that one there that's just laid down on top. Same thing, I'm just going to close the mini Misty, pick up that stamp, and then go ahead and ink it up and stamp it. And to match the purple gingham, I'm going to go ahead and stamp my greeting in my juice box ink from Lawn Fawn. So just inking up that stamp, and it's in the perfect spot. So I just love this. It's so nice because I know that if I don't get a dark enough image, which I did, I could have stamped it a second time. And there's that little banner all cut out. I love how it turned out, and I love lining everything up. If you've been thinking about getting a Misty, I definitely would get one. The mini Misty, I'll link that haul below so you can watch that if you haven't seen it yet. And now I'm going to stamp the little cats. I don't need to use the Misty for it because I'm just stamping and coloring them, but it's already out here, so I'm going to go ahead and use it. This is my first time using this stamp, so if they do need a second stamp, I can. Oh, and I'm glad I used this. The little ear didn't stamp perfectly, so I'm going to go ahead and ink them up one more time. And there they are, nicely stamped out. So I went ahead and colored my little cats with the Zig Real Brush, the clean color markers. And I used a really basic color palette. I just used 2 colors of gray and then a little bit of pink for their ears. And I did a pop of color on the collar. I did an orange one, and then I did a red one, and then I just used some purple on the banner. So I'm going to go ahead and fussy cut everything out and then die cut the banner. So now I have these all cut out, and I'm going to use some glue tape and attach them to the front. I would use some dimensional tape, but I'm sending this in the mail, and I don't want anything to be too out on the card, just because it's better for mailing. So I was just laying everything out, and then I really wanted to have some balloons in the corner because it's a birthday card. And I have this really pretty blue and orange paper scraps, and they're these really pretty polka dot ones. And they are from a set that I've used for a while now. It's the Snap Color Vibe set, and it's just a 6x6 paper pack in the colors called Lights, Brights, and Bolds. And I just cut out 2 balloons from each. I'm going to go grab some string so that I can put some string coming out of the balloons. So I got a big pack of this embroidery floss from the dollar store a while back, so I'm going to use some of the white, and I'm going to just kind of dangle that from the balloons, just attaching it with a bit of glue tape at the back. So everything is glued on. Now I do have these little strings dangling, so I'm going to do something just to kind of keep them down on the card. So the bows that I was going to put on here, they just feel a little bit too big, even though they're tiny. And as I look at it more, I kind of like that the balloons are dangling, because the balloon ribbons would be something that the cats would want to play with, so I think it's kind of cute that way. So I'm actually going to leave it, and this is going to be my finished card. So I hope you enjoyed this card today, and I hope you have a great day.